Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. I'm back from my holiday. It was horrible weather, so we came home a little bit early. But I've been doing a lot of playing with Rem. I have not got onto Amelia yet. I will do Amelia over the next couple of days and get you guys a video on my thoughts on Amelia. But so far with Rem, I am really liking her. I'll show you her in some guild trials at a pretty decent deficit to give you a feel. But in general, my vibes with Rem is... And bear with me, it's not what I expected, because you look at the Lucretia value of her, where she's going to get the damage reduction. This is engraving though, but also get the damage increase. So it feels like a mini Lucretia type thing. However, I find she's too squishy and she normally like dies before other allies. Now, I will definitely test her with like level 1 characters, see how viable that is. But in general, when you get to higher deficits, like the mitigation she provides isn't quite enough. I think it's going to make her a savage power carry in early game. But in general, I think what I've found is not what I expected. So basically, she seems like a win condition because she can deal really big damage. So she seems like a win condition that can enable the enablers to enable her, if that makes any sense. So the big thing is with this one here, the increased energy. So she gives them immune to death for 0.5 seconds and increases 500 energy. So what I feel like this allows is, and this is where I've been testing her, and you'll see in some of the teams that I'll show you guys, is that it allows your teammates who are the enablers of the team, things that come to mind are like Kren and Floppy. Kren's more of a win condition, but we'll get into that as well. But it enables them to not get one-shot by things that typically one-shot, and it allows them to get energy, which means then they can do their enabling effect before they die. I just think that's where she's going to be really well used. And like I said, her damage capacity is really solid. So let's jump over into the arena trials, and I'll remember to show artifacts this time. People always ask about artifacts, but remember in the guild trials, I sort of ignore the artifacts because... Let's go to the leaderboard here. Okay, so these were the teams that I used. But I find artifacts is... it's a bit misleading because these, if you have the same team, same artifacts, and you retry, you get the same RNG. So often I'll just swap artifacts to see if I can get different RNG if things are pretty close. So just keep that in mind. Is there a quicker way to go through this? So we got Call on Mishka. We got... Great. What are we doing with that? See what I mean? Like some of these don't make that much sense with the artifacts, but people always ask me for it. So she was on I for this one, and then obviously we're going to Dual Divinity. Now a lot of these teams are very similar to the teams that I use with the Lunging Mauler Man, just because he had the same kind of idea with what we were trying to achieve with him to enable like units, but she does, like Rem does it a lot better than he did. So this first team, basically we've got the Namora in the front row to charm the Odin. Essentially that's it. Mishka because she's good, Awakened Souls because she's good, Spearboy because I love Spearboy, and then Rem to basically just deal the secondary damage and give us those little cheat deaths. Basically for Spearboy, he can benefit from this pretty well. So let's go ahead and play. Also for your front row units, you know, it's quite handy in general. So let's do this. Let's put it on 1x speed and take a look. So there we go. We get the charm. Mishka's going to do her jump pretty quick. Spearboy gets his action in there. You can see she's quite slow to generate in this battle though. That's the one thing that we sort of had a little bit of an issue with, but we got plenty of survivability. We lose the Namora there. We're going to go here, and now she's going to do her big swipe, kaboom. Not too bad. Get some more CC in. Then I think she drops here, to be honest. I can't remember. No, she lives through this one. Okay. So she only got one ult in there, so it wasn't crazy capacity for damage, but still she managed to deal a good chunk of damage. The great thing about her is a lot of AoE units these days do like close range AoE damage, whereas hers is just the entire field, so it really doesn't matter too much about positioning. So let's go into team number 2. So this one I wanted to do with Kren, the idea being that Kren often commits suicide when he runs forward, so if he can get that little cheat death and then get the energy, that will allow him to not die when he runs forward to knock someone back and then jump straight back into his ult where he's away from harm. And that was essentially the play that I was trying to make here. And as you can see, she actually does a ton of damage in this team. We do have the Mortis in this one as well, obviously for the buffing factor, and then Bruce just because he's good, and Fane because he's the best friend. But you can see like, so there we go. Kren goes forward and you can see I think he pretty much procced his cheat death there. Cause if you look at it, he basically just gained 500 energy. So I think he might've been one shot by an ability, but it looks like if the ability would have one shot them, they instantly get the energy and they don't lose any health because it just mitigates the damage is the way I'm seeing it. So yeah, I'll play this one again and you can just watch Kren's energy at the very start. And it looks like he just gains that big chunk of 500 energy when he runs forward to knock back an enemy, which is normally when he dies, but instead he just gets that energy and he can get into his ult quicker. So what I'll do is let's just you can get the gist of what's going to happen here. So I'm not going to go crazy on this. So let's just jump in again and just watch Kren. So I'll try and pause it. So you can see Kren here. He's sitting pretty. Okay, he's got that energy. He's running up now. You can look at Kren's energy. Then if we look here, you can see he just got a shield. I'm pretty sure that's Kren getting a shield, is it? Or was that Fane getting the shield? But you can see he just jumped up like half a full energy bar. So I believe that is where, unless I'm mistaken there. Hell, I'm just going to claim it because that was the idea that I went into it with, and I'm hoping it worked that way. But you get the idea. There we go. And then Kren just starts rolling. Then she's got the damage as well. Kren does the juggles. She does the slaps. And it's pretty much GG's from there on in. Like it's, you're not too stressed. It's just like juggle and deal damage, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So you get the idea. We're just going to skip that. So pretty solid damage all around there from her as well. Oh, I didn't show artifacts because people always want the artifacts. I don't know if they just want to copy the wins because, like I said, artifacts here are always a bit sketchy because I just shuffle them around into, like, when I get something that I feel like is close, I just start shuffling the artifacts just to see how we go. All right, so this one here. So this is my Floppy Mulan team. You know I'm a big fan of Floppy Mulan, but what I loved about this is Floppy, the issue that sometimes happens with him, not so much when he is with Mulan, but the idea is that like sometimes he just gets clapped and then he doesn't get to use his ult, whereas this, what Rem does, enables him to avoid death, gain energy, group them up, and then they're grouped, and then Mulan and Chad can do their thing essentially. So that's what we're looking at there. And once again, her damage, pretty solid. When we consider the damage that Mulan is capable of doing against grouped enemies is quite solid. That one there, like, we didn't need it, but I mean, just the damage capacity that she does bring, plus that little survivability, because you never know when that little save could be clutch, generate that energy and get you into a win position when you otherwise would have died. But as you can see, like, Mulan obviously does like savage damage to grouped enemies. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with the damage capabilities of Rem in this one as well. So that was pretty solid. I'm not going to watch this, but you get the idea. Moving on from that, all right, let's quickly check the artifacts again, just for people's sake. Yada, yada, yada. And Jewel Divinity. And what was she on this time? What's that, Pauldron? Can't remember. All right, so moving on to the next one. So this is one I absolutely love because it's like bringing the collabs together. So this is the full dimensional team, which I absolutely loved. I'm a big fan of this team. We've got Geralt. We like, I just like, I look at this team and I love it. The only one who's not a collab character is Da Vinci, but still pretty solid. So essentially the idea here is, we're just a chunky team. We're bringing Albedo to get the damage increase. She's just going to carry the way whilst we CC with Leonardo. The thing I like about... and I'm going to try more Amelia teams, but I just like Amelia as like a general support to just about any team. You know, her AoE freeze at the start of battle is really nice. I think she's also going to work really well in grouping teams, Amelia, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll do some more testing. But as you can see, we get some really solid damage out of this one as well. Let's go ahead and play. I just like using all the collab characters. It was really fun, this one. I enjoyed it. So we get Puck out straight away, and then we go straight into the freeze, and that freeze goes straight into Da Vinci's cannon. We probably have like maybe half a second overlap on those, and that allows us to get pretty much straight into Leonardo's pictures, which is like honestly a pretty solid combo. And considering the fact that this team does have the Tassie as well to break out and stuff like that, it actually worked a lot better than I thought. Now we do lose Albedo quick, but once we get through that, it's not too bad. Essentially, we got the extra damage coming in from Amelia when Puck does come out, so that's also another positive. As you can see, we do have to wait for allies to ult. This is the one thing with Amelia when you've got allies dead, is that she generates Puck way slower, so that becomes a little bit of an issue. But in general, okay, so there we go. There we go, Amelia's effect. And I don't think it really did any damage to any of the enemies, unfortunately. But, you know, we're going to do some more testing on Amelia. But essentially, you can see what's happening there. I really like this team. I really like using collab characters. I think it's fun. yeah, pretty much it. You get the gist. We end up beating them. Done. Let's take a look at these quickly. Chaos Bringer. Let's just go through. Once again, Da Vinci obviously on call. And there we go. So let's move into the next one. And this one was a bit of a cop-out because this was just like, yeah, this was a cop-out, I'm not going to lie. Just a good team. No, I'm not going to try and make any way around it. But as you can see, she does have pretty good healing capabilities as well. You know, as a tech spot healer. So not too bad. Let's jump in here and take a look. I think she dies fairly early in this one. So if we watch here, and she dies about here, I believe. No, a bit later. We don't have 4 times speed because I think this is a really long fight. She does die early if my memory serves me, which it probably doesn't. Okay, maybe she doesn't die. There you go. So she dies there. So look at how much longer Grizul and Odin are out to deal damage. This was the interesting thing. So like her damage in this battle was actually really respectable considering how long she was dead in this fight. And there's still 2 enemies alive at this stage. So, you know, you're still getting some cleave value out of it between Odin and Grizul as well. So all that time she was dead, but she still put in more damage than Odin. And like over half of what Grizul did. I thought that was pretty respectable. But like I said, that's my thoughts so far. That's the first teams I got on her. Actually, let's go quickly into the artifacts so people don't murder me in the comments. Let's go. Quick looks. I'm sure there's a quicker way to do this. There we go. Is there a quick way? I swear there used to be like a button tab thing. Anyway, who cares? I don't look at that too much. Yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on Rem. I think she's a great win condition that can enable enablers, and I think that is a really cool effect on her. I think she's going to be a beast early game. We'll address that in another video. I've been using her on my other account where she's an absolute savage. But yeah, I'm just all around liking her. I think she's a great unit, and I definitely want to test her with like weak units that we can just like sacrifice to see if her Lucretia effect has any viability. But Rem, at this stage, let me know what you guys think. Still early days, so take it with a massive grain of salt, but I'm really liking her. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.